Hello. So I get quite a lot of questions from people asking with regard to the session work, how things work. Typically I get quite a lot of similar questions, so I thought I'd put together a video which hopefully addresses quite a few of those. Obviously if there's anything I don't cover, then please get in contact. But here we go. Okay, so in a nutshell, I'm an online session guitarist, which means I record guitar parts for people from my recording studio. This may be working with a songwriter or a producer. Say they already have the drums and the bass and maybe the piano and the vocals, everything in place apart from the guitars, and they want those added, I can do those. Or I might be adding guitars to a track that already has some guitar parts but they want others added. I also work a lot with songwriters to build tracks from the ground up, whereby maybe nothing exists today or just a demo exists today and they want to build the foundations from the guitar and build upwards. It might just be that it's going to be guitar and vocals, or it might be other stuff added on afterwards. I also do work for TV and film companies, so everything from short little TV and radio jingles through to movie soundtrack work. Okay, so if we're recording from the ground up, if there's a demo of how the song exists today, that's really useful to have. It means I can work out obviously the chord patterns, but also the tempo and the structure of the tune. Likewise, if there's any harmonic information you particularly want included in the song, chord voicings, etc., that are slightly unusual, feel free to let me have those. If there's a score for the tune already written out, of course, pass that along. Likewise, if there's any tunes that existing tunes that you like the sound of, that you maybe want to capture the essence of that tune in one of your recordings, then let me know and we can work towards that as well. I normally get recordings done within a week. I'll let you know when I take on the recording if it's going to be any longer than that. If there's a particular deadline you're working to, let me know when you get in contact and we'll see what we can do. Some rough pricing figures on my website. The reason I don't give firm figures for everything is because obviously every recording job is different. Naturally it takes a different amount of time to record a 15-second acoustic overdub for a TV advert than it does to record a 7-minute prog metal track. So I will let you know once you get in contact. If you can give me any information about the song, you know generally how long it is, complexity, things like that, whether you're looking for single parts or multi-layered parts, then I'll get back to you as soon as I can with a quote. I've recorded something, sent it over, and it's not quite what you're after for the tune. Just let me know. Feel free to give as much and as precise feedback as possible. It could be, you know, if you didn't like the guitar tone, if you wanted more or less gain, or you didn't like the delay effect on something, or it could just be that you didn't like the feel of the parts. Just let me know. So the closer the feedback can be pinpointed, the better chance is that the next take will have exactly what you're looking for. So once the recording's been completed, I would send over an MP3 file which is a mix of all the parts that have been recorded, and if there's an existing track that I'm recording on top of, that would be included in the mix. It wouldn't be a final mix, but it would be good enough for you to hear everything that's been recorded. I would normally bump the guitars up a little bit in volume from where I would traditionally mix them so that you can hear the new parts. Assuming you're happy with the parts and you then make payment, I would then export each WAV file individually, so every part that's been recorded in the DAW. For electric guitars that would be one WAV file per track. For acoustic guitars, I'll talk about in a moment, that would be 2 per track. I would recenter everything before I export, so if I send you an MP3 mix with a guitar part panned hard right, before I then send that individual part to you, that would get recentered so that you can do whatever you want in the mix. Likewise, I would let you know if there's any plugins, for instance reverb, applied to the track, and if there is, then I'd give you the option to either turn them off or keep them on. You might have a reverb that you prefer, for instance, at which point I could turn mine off and just send you the dry track. So I've done this quite a few times, which working with songwriters who don't play instruments. In this case, what I need is a recording of the vocal track, as if it was recorded with the music behind it, and by that I mean I need to be able to hear the phrasing of the vocal track. From there I can work out the structure of the tune, put some chords behind it, obviously take any stylistic input that the songwriter gives, and record the music behind it. Once that's done, I'll then send it to the vocalist and they can record their vocals on top again, because I would typically record to a click track so that they have a synced in recording that they can record against. A pair of these KM184 microphones into an Apogee preamp. I always use two microphones with acoustic guitars. I find it just picks up more of the guitar and gives a better overall sound. If it's a sparse mix where maybe it's just acoustic guitar and vocals on a recording, it gives you the option to pan hard left and right and create a nice stereo image. Obviously if it's a busier mix you can collapse things a little bit more, just to take up less space. Within the DAW I would always add a little bit of reverb as a plugin which can be turned off, and likewise a high pass filter at about 120 Hz which just cleans up some of the low end. Guitars I will record through a digital rack system. For me it has loads of advantages, one of the biggest ones being that you can instantly recall patches. So for instance, if I'm recording a song one day, send it to a client and they come back and say, really like the sound but can you just change the ending of the verse part, then I can instantly get back to the sound I was using on that day, which just saves having to find the same mic sweet spot and things like that on an amp. The other thing I'll do with an electric guitar is I'll quite often print effects onto the track, sort of record wet as it is. I'll let you know if I'm going to do that and give you the choice if you want it dry or not. For instance, if I'm going to add a heavy delay part onto, say, a section in a verse, I'll let you know I'm going to do that, and if you're happy then I will print the delay onto that part. Or if you say that you've got a delay that you want to use, I will leave it dry and then you can put the delay on it afterwards. 12-string guitar, just there. I get asked for it quite a lot. It sounds great. Same process as 6-string guitars, 2 microphones. Works a treat. Something I do quite regularly is to record bass, particularly if I'm recording a full track for somewhere I'm doing sort of acoustic guitars, electric guitars. Quite often I get asked to do the bass as well. I record it through the same digital rack system that the electric guitars go through, so the sound is very clean again. Same deal with reverb plugins and things like that, which I can turn off and on. Over the years I've been doing this, I've worked with quite a lot of online session drummers in particular. There's quite a few out there now who are doing really good quality work, great sounds, great players. So I'm happy to recommend any number of those. Get in contact and I'll let you know their contact details. Likewise with keys players, yeah, there's a couple of keyboard and piano players I've worked with, both personally in a live situation and then I've recommended for studio work, and they've always done a great job. So yeah, get in contact and I'll pass on the details. So I hope that's covered some of the more common questions. If there's anything I haven't covered, feel free to get in contact and let me know. There should be links below the video or at the end of it. They'll take you to my website where there's examples of previous session work and testimonials and things like that. Thanks.